I invite the member for West Vancouver Capilano to lead the House in prayer or reflection.
Dear Lord, as we gather in this chamber today, we pause in gratitude for the opportunity to serve the people of this province. We acknowledge those whose ancestors have lived on and cared for this land for countless generations. We acknowledge those whose families came here seeking opportunity and a new beginning. And we acknowledge those who are just arriving, hoping to build better lives. Whatever faith, belief, religion, or worldview we may hold, or none at all, let us conduct ourselves with integrity, humility, and a shared commitment to the common good. May our deliberations be guided by wisdom, compassion, and respect for all. May we work together in the spirit of inclusion and purpose to build a just, peaceful, and prosperous future for every person who calls this province home. Lastly, Lord, the strongest hurricane in 170 years, Melissa, is on its course to hit Jamaica. We pray for the safety of all the people living there. In your precious name, amen.
Amen.
Introductions by members. Minister of Education.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Today in the gallery, we are joined by the board members from the British Columbia School Trustees Association up here in the gallery with us. Joining us today are President Tracy Loeffler, Vice President Bob Holmes, Roxanne Gulick, Erica McLean, George Nelson, David Swanky, past President Carolyn Brody, CEO Trevor Davies, and other members of the BCSTA staff. BCSTA have been champions for public education for 120 years now. And I want to thank them for that. They've been excellent partners to government, and we continue to work with them to build out public education. I look forward to our conversations later today. Thank you so much. Will the House please make them welcome?
Member for Prince George North Caribou.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On October 19th, Quesnel lost a great man, a cornerstone of the community, Manjit Singh Rana. This past weekend, Highway 97 at Quesnel was closed to honour a procession of first responders to honour Manjit's tireless service to our province. Manjit was a member of the BC Ambulance Service and a long-time forestry worker in Quesnel who for 34 years provided critical life-saving services. The testimonies from residents in Quesnel on Manjit's impacts on their lives and community are numerous. One friend noted that Manjit was kind, reliable, and hard-working, someone who prioritized safety. Manjit said that being a paramedic brings as much joy as the feeling you get when you help save someone and you see them come back into themselves. It's something that's unmatched. Thank you, Manjit. Your legacy is profound, and thank you for all you did for Quesnel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Today is a really big day here at the BC Legislature. Not only are we celebrating Diwali at lunchtime, we all have many guests here, we are also celebrating BC Agriculture Day 2025. BC Agriculture Council has organized another amazing day where they're bringing over incredible organizations that represent farming, farmers, food security all across British Columbia. Nearly 70 representatives and 20 producer groups are here. And I'm going to quickly just run through the producer groups that are here represented. BC greenhouse growers, BC potato and vegetable growers, BC cattlemen's, BC pork producers, Organic BC, BC fruit growers, BC shellfish growers, BC salmon farmers, BC chicken growers, BC turkey, BC egg producers, BC hatching egg, BC poultry, BC landscape and nursery, the United Flower Growers Co-op, the Horse Council of BC, the BC honey producers, BC Blueberry Council, BC raspberry growers, and lastly, the BC cranberry growers. Thanks to everybody who made such great efforts to get over here. And again, great appreciation to the BC Agriculture Council for organizing it.
Member for Berkeley Valley, Keene.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my pleasure today to welcome two women into the House, Carrie Bassett, the Executive Director, and Charlene Johnson, Board Chair of the Northwest Child Development Centre. This valuable organization has been in operation since 1981. They've been providing an integrated health and social services delivery model serving children, youth, and their families. They provide quality programs and services with over 40 rural and remote communities throughout Bulkley Valley, the Hazeltons, Stikine, Lakes District, Burns Lake, Houston, and Terrace. They serve over 1,200 children, youth, and their families every year alone. They are funded over several ministries, including MCFD, Education, Health, Northern Health, School Districts, and Indigenous Services Canada. Would the House please make them very welcome, and we'll look forward to their meeting this afternoon.
Member from Maple Ridge East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery, I have two wonderful friends from Mission, Stuart and Catherine Duncan. They're very excited to visit the Parliament building and the legislature today. May the House please join me in giving them a very warm welcome.
Member for Courtney Comox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to introduce Joy Tansky's grade 10 and 11 class from Gaglardi Academy. They'll be joining us for question period, so everybody can keep it civil. This is my son's school, so I will hear about it later. So thank you very much for them to join us, and please make them feel welcome.
Member for Peace River North.
I guess I beat you on that one. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I just want to thank the BC Agriculture Association or the BC Agriculture Council for coming here, and it's also near and dear to my heart. Being a farmer myself, that without farmers we would have no future. And I would also like to welcome a friend that came here to the legislature, Kat Canada, as well. That I look forward to being able to show her around, and that she follows politics closely, provincially and federally. Thank you very much, and welcome her to the legislature.
Member for Chilliwack North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to take the opportunity to welcome the chair of the Chilliwack School Board, also who lives on the is one of my constituents and is here in the ledge with BCSTA today, David Swanky. Thank you very much.
Minister of Children and Family Development.
Speaker, I just want to quickly join my colleague in welcoming Carrie Bassett and the Northwest Child Development Centre. I have to add my voice because Carrie Bassett has been a formidable advocate for children and youth in this province, and she's also been a mentor of mine. When I started my career in child development, she supported me, she helped me understand services in our province, and she's been serving our province for decades. And so thank you, Carrie, for all of the work that you've done for the families in your community, but also for the BC Association for Child Development and Intervention.
Members, on behalf of all the members in the House, I would like to extend our warm welcome to everyone, all those guests who are here to celebrate Diwali with all of us today. We will be having a beautiful event at noon, and we welcome them. Please join me, give them a warm welcome. Madam Clerk.
Introduction of bills.
Member for West Vancouver, Capilano. Third-party House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill entitled Residential Tenancy Amendment Act, of which notice has been given in my name on the order paper, be introduced and read a first time.
Proceed, Member.
Renters in British Columbia face the highest eviction rates in Canada, but it's through no fault of their own. It's because in British Columbia, there are no limits on how much landlords can raise rent between tenancies. Rent increases are only regulated within existing tenancies. Research attributes these evictions to profit-driven displacement, where the financial incentives of selling property or raising rents lead landlords, particularly real estate investment trusts, to evict tenants from their homes, despite these tenants paying rent and respecting the property. This has resulted in tens of thousands of tenants being forced out of their communities, paying drastically more for rent elsewhere, or worse, becoming homeless. The impact is not felt equally. People with low or fixed incomes, Indigenous and racialized renters, and people with disabilities are hit hardest. Many are evicted directly into homelessness. Indeed, in a 2025 homeless count in Metro Vancouver, evictions were the cause of homelessness for nearly half of respondents. It's time for this practice to end. The Residential Tenancy Amendment Act proposes to limit how much landlords can raise rent when a unit becomes vacant. By closing this loophole, we remove the financial incentive to evict tenants for profit and help keep existing homes affordable. This amendment would reduce no-fault evictions, increase housing stability, and preserve affordable housing across BC. As 1 in 3 British Columbian residents are renters, this amendment would go a long way in addressing the housing affordability crisis. It's a practical, effective, and necessary tool to address our housing affordability crisis and ensure that teachers, nurses, service workers, students, and seniors can afford to live in the communities they help build. If we are serious about addressing the housing affordability crisis, if we believe housing is a human right, then let's act now to limit for-profit rent hikes and keep British Columbia livable for everyone. I call on this government to recognize the urgency of this issue and look forward to debating this bill at second reading.
Member, the question is first reading of the bill. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Member?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be placed on the orders of the day for second reading at the next sitting of the House after today.
You have heard the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Statement by members now. Member for West Vancouver Capilano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to recognize an inspiring community initiative in my constituency, West Vancouver Capilano. It is called Feed the Need program at the West Vancouver Seniors Activity Centre. This program was created in 2021 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when many seniors were facing isolation and challenges accessing healthy, regular meals. In response, the Seniors Activity Centre developed Feed the Need, a volunteer-driven meal program designed to ensure that vulnerable seniors in our community would not go hungry. What began as an emergency response has become a vital and ongoing service. Today, Feed the Need provides approximately 350 nutritious meals each week to seniors who need them most. These meals are prepared and delivered by volunteers, offering both nourishment and a meaningful human connection. Funding for the program comes through community donations matched by the Ian and Rosemary Watershed Fund via the West Vancouver Foundation Give Where You Live campaign. In 2023, the campaign exceeded its goal, raising over $109,000 to help sustain the program through 2026. The Feed the Need program is a remarkable example of what can happen when neighbours come together, combining compassion, generosity, and local action to meet real community needs. To the staff, volunteers, donors, and partners who make this program possible, thank you. Your work reflects the very best of my riding, West Vancouver Capilano, and the caring spirit that strengthens our province. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Member for Vancouver Strathcona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to celebrate the incredible organizations in British Columbia and particularly Vancouver who are leading the way in food security and food justice. These groups don't just feed people, they build community while restoring dignity and creating pathways to healing. Recently, I had the privilege of touring some of these organizations with several of my colleagues. It fills me with pride to witness the dedication of the many men, women, Two-Spirit and non-binary folks who are doing this vital work on the front lines. I want to specifically recognize the First United Church, Union Gospel Mission, South Vancouver Neighborhood House, and Little Mountain Neighborhood House, all supported by the United Way. These organizations are deeply rooted in their communities and are responding with compassion, creativity, and courage. I'd like to make a special shout out to the folks working in my constituency who are doing this amazing work. Folks like the team at First United, Amanda Burrows, George Flett, Sarah Marsden, Katie Conkin. Their leadership is driving systemic change and ensuring that no one gets left behind. I want to celebrate two frontline managers also at Union Gospel Mission, Leona So and Julie Nadeau. They are meeting community members where they're at, offering support that meets their needs, and creating pathways to recovery, shelter, and housing. These organizations remind us that food is more than nourishment. It's a human right, a source of connection, and a foundation for justice. So let us continue to support and uplift their work. Thank you.
Member for Delta South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Organized by the BC Agriculture Council, BC Agriculture Day is a reminder to all British Columbians how fortunate we are to have such dedicated people producing food for our province. It is important to understand how the decision to buy local support farmers, ranchers, producers, and processors, as well as our communities. Their dedication to their craft has helped them overcome major challenges such as an unprecedented series of climate events that cause much damage to crops, lands, structures, equipment, and livelihoods. Our past summers in BC also brought to light additional challenges of extremely hot and dry summers, which negatively affected food production. And recent past winters that saw frigid temperatures that devastated our tree fruits and grape industry. These are stressors farmers must deal with throughout the year, yet they continue their work without fault to keep our province fed. Mr. Speaker, farmers every day wear many hats in this province. They need to be many things. They need to be mechanics, veterinarians, engineers, environmentalists, salesmen, bookkeepers, and architects. Under the wing of my dad and my grandfather, I learned the trade and became a third-generation dairy farmer. Our family was just one contributor to BC's diverse agriculture industry, which includes so many products. And let us never forget the volatile and high-risk livelihood of farming, dealing with the challenges such as persistent labor shortages and the ever-increasing financial burden of the 3 Fs facing farmers today, that being feed, fuel, and fertilizer. While steps have been taken to combat these issues, we will continue to advocate for British Columbia's farmers and their efforts to improve BC's food security for current and future generations. Ag Day is not only a great day to connect legislators with farmers, but the day also increases awareness of agriculture's positive impact on the local economy while giving farmers and ranchers an opportunity to share ideas and solutions to the sector's challenges with MLAs here in Victoria. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Vancouver Langara.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. From October to December, communities across British Columbia and in my riding of Vancouver-Langara come alive with celebration. It's a season when lights, music, and traditions from around the world fill our neighborhoods with warmth and joy. In these months, we see Diwali diyas glowing in homes, gurdwaras celebrating Gurpurab, families gathering for Thanksgiving, menorahs shining for Hanukkah, and Christmas trees lighting up our streets. Our Filipino friends begin their joyful Simbang Gabi celebrations, filling churches with song and community spirit. Korean families reflect on Chuseok and prepare for Soilai, honoring families, ancestors, and the values that bring people together. And soon we will see the vibrant red and gold Lunar New Year celebrations welcoming a new beginning. In BC, we see this spirit every day. Neighbors sharing festive foods, children learning about each other's holidays, and families from every background coming together to help those in need. But we also know that building a truly inclusive society means standing firmly against racism and discrimination in all its forms. Every act of prejudice weakens the fabric that holds us together, and every act of understanding makes it stronger. As we celebrate this season of light and gratitude, let us continue to honor the diversity that defines us, reject hate wherever it appears, and build a province that remains a true home for all. Thank you so much.
Member for Abbotsford South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Not only today do we celebrate Diwali, but we also recognize BC Agricultural Day. A day to celebrate the hardworking farmers, ranchers, and producers who feed our province and anchor our economy. In my community of Abbotsford, the Sumas Prairie is the most productive agricultural land in all of Canada. Generations of farmers have worked that land, producing milk, eggs, poultry, berries, fruits, and vegetables that end up on our kitchen tables not only across British Columbia, but across the world. But 4 years after the devastating floods of 2021, many of those farmers are still, in their own words, the waters may have receded, but financially, we're still underwater. The losses remain. Homes, barns, machineries were destroyed, fields were ruined, and crops were lost. Yet these farmers persevered, rebuilding, doing what farmers do, replanting, and working day and night to recovery. They deserve more than just our platitudes and gratitude. They deserve a real plan from all levels of government to protect the Sumas Prairie, not just from the next flood, but from neglect. These farmers feel abandoned and lost. This is the most valuable agricultural land in Canada, and we cannot afford to lose it. Mr. Speaker, if we want true food security, we must secure the land that feeds us. I encourage every British Columbian to reach out to their MLAs and MPs and call for concrete action to protect our farmland and support our farmers who keep it alive and feed us. Mr. Speaker, without our farmers... Well, you know, I do have to pay homage. Farming is near and dear to the Speaker's heart. I know it is. But without our farmers, there is no food security. And without the Sumas Prairie, there is no future for BC agriculture. Mr. Speaker, if you see a farmer, go up to them and say thank you. They work hard to feed us every single day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Vernon-Lumby.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Today we proudly celebrate BC Agriculture Day, a day to honour our incredible people whose hands, hearts, and their dedication feed our province. As someone who comes from a proud multi-generation farming family, I have seen firsthand the blood, sweat, and tears that go into producing the food we enjoy every day. I have seen early mornings, the long days, and deep commitment it takes to take care for the land and animals that sustain us. Farming is not just an occupation, it is a way of life built on perseverance, hope, and love for the land, people, ranches, animals, for the farmers carry in their heart. To all farmers, ranchers, and growers, and food producers joining us today, welcome and thank you. You are the backbone of our communities, our economy, our food security. You remind us that no farmer means no food, and no food means no life. Across British Columbia, more than 60,000 hardworking people dedicate themselves growing, raising, and producing food we all depend on. From the fertile field to Fraser Valley, of the orchards of the Okanagan, the ranchlands of interior, farms of Vancouver Island, and the vast agriculture heartlands of northern BC. Your work sustains us all. Food producers in every corner in our province play a vital role in our food systems, strengthening regional economies and ensuring that communities across the province have access to fresh, local, high-quality food. Through climate challenges, market pressures, and unpredictability of nature, you continue to adapt and lead the way sustainable food security. Our government stands firmly with you. We're all committed to supporting BC's agriculture sector so you can grow, thrive, and remain profitable while inspiring and empowering the next generation of farmers to carry your legacy forward. Happy BC Agriculture Day, and may we continue together to grow a stronger, more resilient future for the agriculture of this province. Thank you for all you do.
Member for West Vancouver Capilano has a point.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to make an introduction.
Is leave granted? Aye. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I am honored to introduce Shireen Sele and Atina Fedosi, two amazing women who are residents and role models of the North Shore. Shireen is the founder and president of a flourishing business on the North Shore, which contributes a great deal to our community, and I'm so grateful for that. It is a pleasure to have them here in Victoria today. Please make them feel very welcome.
Madam Clerk.
Oral questions by members.
Members, before we recognize members to ask questions, I'm going to make a statement. Honourable members, last week, the Chair made a commitment to return to the House with a guidance on language, given the use of unparliamentary language by some members in debate over the course of the current sessional period. The rules of this House prevent members from engaging in debate in a manner that leads to disorder. In the current circumstances, the most applicable rule is Standing Order 40, which provides guidance and states, and I quote, "No member shall use offensive words against any member of this House," unquote. An allegation that a member is racist clearly imputes what most members would regard as an offensive personal characterization, and as such, it is out of order. For the Chair to permit allegations of racism to be directed at other members would encourage what is already a regrettable reality of this place, an undue personalization of issues and debate. As someone who has fought against racism for decades, the Chair does not address this topic or the word lightly. The Chair understands the feelings of members who believe that the policies or views of other members are objectionable. But in the Chair's view, personal name-calling or labels are not a robust or effective debating tactic. An allegation of being a racist, if it is leveled against a member or a group of members, clearly leads to disorder and does not encourage productive debate and distracts us from discussion of issues critically important to those we represent. That said, the use of strong language in terms that relate solely to policy or position taken by members of our party may be permitted in debate at the discretion of the chair. But rather than directing personal insults at one another, members are asked to focus their comments on the policies and issues that are the subject before the House. The chair is reminded of the wise words of Speaker Gretchen Mann-Bruin, who delivered the following guidance to the House on December 3, 1998, and I quote, "It is very important in this House that we not reflect badly on this institution by the language that we use. It seems to the chair that opinions can be expressed by members without resorting to certain terminologies like implications of racism or personal attacks. The chair wishes to encourage all members to take that under advisement and to give more thought to the English language, which is indeed enormously rich and provides infinite scope for the expression of views in this chamber," unquote. The chair thanks all members for heeding this direction and for always being mindful of the words they choose to use in the course of debate in this House. Thank you. Member for the official opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
A whistleblower from Community Corrections says high-risk sexual offenders cases are being supervised remotely from 700 kilometers away because of staffing shortages. Breaches are being missed, victims left vulnerable, and offenders unsupervised. Why has this government allowed community corrections in the north to deteriorate while public safety in the north is severely compromised?
Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General.
Thank you very much to the Speaker, and thank you very much to the Leader of the Opposition for the question. BC Corrections plays a vital role, and BC Corrections continuously focuses efforts on reducing violent incidents and doing their work to ensure that our communities are safe. We recognize that the work of corrections is vital throughout the province, including, of course, in northern communities, which is why the corrections staff in my ministry is in constant contact with the corrections team to ensure that the correction centers are adequately resourced. We will continue to ensure that we carry on this work to ensure that correction centers and the staff within them are fully resourced and able to do their work.
Leader of the Official Opposition, supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Fully resourced 700 kilometers away, whistleblowers have come forward and alleged that serious staff misconduct was covered up and frontline officers' warnings were ignored. Meanwhile, Indigenous nations like the Haida, Nisga'a, Haida, as well as Tahltan, have not been engaged with regards to this, and their concerns appear to have been ignored. There are sexual predators living in remote communities in the Nass Valley being supervised by parole officers more than 700 kilometers away. This minister seems to think that's just fine, so maybe she can ask a simple, straightforward question. Does she think it's appropriate that somebody 700 kilometers away should be the ones supervising these dangerous offenders?
Minister.
Thank you very much. BC Corrections does use GPS-enabled technology, which allows for curfew monitoring and supervision due to a substantial concern that they may commit a serious violent offense. Electronic supervision is not suitable for the highest risk individuals, and while it cannot stop someone who's determined to commit an offense, it builds on other supervision tools like risk and needs assessments, home visits, curfew checks, and public notifications and programming.
Members, Minister will complete the answer.
In BC,
Please continue.
BC Corrections works collaboratively with law enforcement, community partners, and the public when supervising individuals. And any breach of court-ordered conditions can result in charges and possibly time in custody at the discretion of the courts. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Member for West Kelowna Peachland.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I guess we are relying on GPS now to keep people safe. Another Surrey neighborhood sprayed with bullets, families jolted awake by gunfire. This is everyday life now in BC under this government. You have to sleep with one eye open just to ensure your own safety. The minister may be getting a good night's sleep, but how does the minister expect British Columbians to sleep soundly?
Hear, hear.
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you. I know that people are deeply concerned about the shootings that we are seeing in Surrey and in other communities. I share these concerns. Nobody should live with a threat of violence. And I have met with police leadership across the province, including recently the Surrey Police Chief, to discuss the challenges that they're facing on the grounds in communities. And I appreciate the hard work that police leadership and officers do every day to keep our communities safe, which is why we are committed to providing police with the resources they need to investigate these crimes. We invest over $100 million each year in targeted enforcement of gang activities, including gun and drug violence. These are practical investments that provide concrete tools that help get guns off our street, and we will keep taking action, supporting police and doing the work on gun violence and the issues that we're seeing in our communities to keep people safe.
Member has supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been on the front lines, attended and responded to shootings. This minister hasn't. I've had to deal with the family and their concerns that violence may continue, with the young children that are afraid, the nearby residents that wonder if their community is no longer safe, and our society that wonders if the suspects will be brought to justice. With all due respect, this minister doesn't know a thing about what it means to deal with these issues on the ground. Metro Vancouver police are dealing with a surge in extortion threats, dozens of shootings tied to criminal networks. In Surrey alone, over half of all extortion cases this year have involved gunfire. When will this government stop putting criminals ahead of Surrey residents?
Minister.
Thank you. In my role as Solicitor General, I work every day with law enforcement leaders and officers, ensuring that I have a sense of what is going on in communities. I'm also in touch with community members, businesses, families who have been affected by gun violence and the extortion, threats, and related acts of violence that we're seeing in communities. We are doing everything that we can to ensure that police have the tools that they need to investigate extortion crimes. This includes setting up the BC Extortion Task Force, the first of its kind in the country, to ensure that there's coordinated, comprehensive investigations taking place. We're providing additional funds to municipal police jurisdictions to investigate extortion threats beyond the scope of the task force. We make our ongoing investments in combating organized crime and gun violence, and will continue to carry on this work, supporting police while also advocating for the bail reform measures that we've been hearing about recently that include bail and sentencing reforms directly related to extortion threats, thanks to BC's advocacy. We will continue to work on all fronts to keep our communities safe.
House Leader of the Third Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Renters in BC are suffering without comprehensive rent control, but the usual excuse is that mom and pop landlords will suffer. Turns out they only make up a small fraction of our rental housing market. It's numbered corporations and REITs who are protected by this government law. not the public. Landlords in BC evict tenants at the highest rate of any province, mostly through no-fault evictions. They're financially incentivized to do it because rent is tied to the renter, not the unit, meaning they can increase rent as much as they want when a tenant moves out.
Member, thank you. I think the issue is already in front of the House. That will be debated later.
It's a bill you introduced. It's a bill that you introduced.
Okay.
House Leader of the fourth party.
If you want to humiliate your children at school, send them here to us in British Columbia. I have a document in front of me from the government's own curriculum guidance for teachers. It instructs that students are to develop a, quote, mindset of cultural humility. Cultural humility. In our classrooms, our kids are being taught to not take pride in their culture, Canada's incredible culture, but to be ashamed of it. That's because this government and every other party in this House, they continue to defend the practice of land acknowledgements in our classrooms, the pinnacle of humiliation rituals. They shame our kids for having the wrong ancestors, and they impose false guilt for crimes they did not commit, and in many cases events which never even happened.
This issue is also before the House. If
Our
member
kids
has
should be
another
taught to be
question.
proud of Canadian culture because we have the best culture in the world. My question is for the Minister of Education. Why is her government humiliating our kids instead of teaching them?
Member, although the issue raised by the member was before the House and it was rejected by the House, but I leave it up to the Minister to her discretion if she would like to answer.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It is very unfortunate that this member continues to raise this line of questioning in this House. We have made it very, very clear to the member and to every single person in this House that our BC is a welcoming place. Our schools need to be a safe place, no matter how you look, what you wear, where you come from, what your background is. Everything we do is grounded in keeping kids safe and making them feel included and welcome. There was once upon a time in this House where every member agreed on that. And it's very unfortunate we're not there today.
Member has supplemental.
Well, in actual reality, this government indoctrinates your kids at school.
Member.
Their curriculum guidance instructs that students should, quote, challenge and decenter colonial structures, knowledge systems, and hierarchies.
Member, the issue was before the House, it was rejected, and the Minister has already answered it. Does the member have a different question?
Not.
Thank you. Before I recognize the next member, the House Leader of third party, if I had another question other than the question which was already before the House, has the right to ask. If not, we'll move. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Earlier this month, I met a constituent living in her car in Sydney. Even with disability assistance rates below the poverty line, she says she could afford to spend $800 a month on rent if any landlord would accept her. Winter storm season is here. Nights in cars are getting colder. The minister is probably aware that Sydney Council recently voted down a rezoning application to accommodate a winter shelter. That's where my constituent would like to live.
Keep it short, please. You have
My question is to the Minister of Housing. In situations where municipal governments are unable or unwilling to step up, how is her government helping people find shelter?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for such an important and timely question. We know that shelter spaces, in addition to supportive housing, are life-saving, particularly during extreme weather events That's why we as a government and BC Housing work so closely with mayors and councils across the province to provide emergency winter shelter space, year-round shelter space, to bring more people inside where they can be safe and where they can connect with supports and resources that make them and the broader community safer. We have requests from local governments all over the province, and we work to be responsive and ensure that we can work together to deliver supports, particularly where local governments are making land available so we can move quickly together. We have many great partnerships on this front, and I look forward to being able to speak more about our emergency winter shelters soon. In the meantime, many local governments have been coming to us and working together with requests because they know that shelters are how we improve safety for everyone.
Thank you. Member for Abbotsford West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, a 60-year-old Abbotsford husband, father, businessman, and respected leader was gunned down in broad daylight while he was getting into his truck. Children in 3 nearby schools were forced to lockdown as bullets flew. A man died, Mr. Speaker. My community doesn't want to hear talking points of platitudes. They want to feel safe again. And after 9 long years of this government, they do not. So, Mr. Speaker, to the Premier, how can British Columbians have any faith in this government when victims are the only ones to bear the consequences?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A very horrific incident, and my heart goes out to all the victims and those children that were involved in that incident. Mr. Speaker, we won't stop until every community across the province is safe. And we are showing leadership in this province. We are showing leadership in this province to change laws and put more resources on the street. Mr. Speaker, it was because of BC's leadership that the Bishnoi Gang was certified as a terrorist organization across this country. It was BC's leadership where there's, for the first time, a 40-person unit that's specifically focused on extortion. And it was BC's leadership that helped change the law of this whole country when it comes to bail and sentencing.
Member for Richmond Queensborough, come to order.
To circle around repeat offenders, including extortion. It was BC's leadership that changed the laws across the country to circle around extortion, circle around repeat offenders, and circle around intimate partner violence to keep those people off the streets. Mr. Speaker, we will keep doing that work. 7 arrests, 7 charges, and more on their way. Thank you.
Member for Surrey North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stood up 1 week ago and asked about shooting in Surrey. Another day, another shooting in my community. Why can't this NDP government keep Surrey safe?
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member opposite for the question. I know that residents of Surrey are deeply concerned about extortion threats and related acts of violence. I share those concerns. This violence and these threats of violence are completely unacceptable. The Attorney General and I were at a conference of federal, territorial, and provincial ministers recently and heard that BC is not alone in facing these extortion threats. We are seeing this in Alberta and Ontario. BC, however, is taking a leadership role in the country in combating extortion with our provincial task force dedicated to extortion, and we are starting to see results with the 7 arrests and charges brought recently.
Members, order please.
And we led the charge for the entire country in the designation of the Bishnoi Gang as a terrorist organization to give the police the tools that they need. We will continue to ensure that police have the resources and that victims of extortion have the supports that they need in terms of safety plans going forward. We'll work in partnership with law enforcement to keep tackling these extortion crimes and keep our communities safe.
Member for Delta South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, my residents of Delta, my constituents are tired of day after day turning on the news morning and night and listening about more killings, more shootings in the Lower Mainland. Mr. Speaker, on the same day as the Surrey shooting, multiple shots were fired into a family home in Delta, all caught on CCTV. A suspect stepped out of an SUV and opened fire before fleeing. Another violent eruption linked to an extortion investigation. Why has this government allowed Delta to become a place where families sleep in fear while criminals run rampant?
Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you so much to the Speaker and to the member opposite for the question. We're ensuring that police of jurisdictions such as Delta have the resources that they need to investigate these crimes and ensure that coordination is happening with the provincial task force. What we're hearing from the task force and police of jurisdiction is the importance of community members with any information to come forward to police, or if anonymity is a concern, to Crime Stoppers. Any piece of information, no matter how small, can support investigations that are in progress. We'll continue to work with police, continue to do our outreach to community to raise awareness about the importance of not paying in the event of an extortion threat and reporting any and all information to police, which will help make a difference and bring these investigations to the place that we all want them to see, which is to see these criminals behind bars.
Member for Richmond Queensborough.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When will the Attorney General take some leadership on the extortion crisis?
Shh. Members,
this
member has the floor.
Matter. A lot of people are experiencing fear as a result of this crisis. It's sorry to hear that you're laughing on that side of the House. When will this Attorney General appoint dedicated Crown prosecutors to work with the police on the extortion crisis?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We do have a team of Crown Counsel that's dedicated to these types of crimes. Mr. Speaker, BC has taken a leadership role across this country when it comes to responding to extortion and responding to public safety issues on our street. I am proud of what we've put on the table to make it safer for all of the whole country, and we will continue.
Please continue.
We will continue to do the work that we know we need to do to respond to what's happening on the street. I've gone through all of the resources and the criminal code changes that we have asked for and led in this country. We are going to keep at it, Mr. Speaker, until we get at these criminals that are causing harm to our streets and put them behind bars. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
House Leader of the Official Opposition.
We're speaking today about violence that's happening out in the streets. But unfortunately, violence is also happening to our frontline workers. We've had an outcry from nurses who've been coming to this government for 9 years asking for support. Members on both sides of the House were asked to stand and take a photo as a pledge with these nurses and quote, "Violence is not a part of the job." They've been punched, strangled, kicked, spat on, threatened, traumatized, and left to work in fear. So, as members of this House took that pledge, just 4 days later, A paramedic in Kamloops was punched in the face while fueling up their vehicle. Meanwhile, in Vancouver Island, 2 paramedics were assaulted by a driver who crashed into the ER. These are the people that dedicate their lives, outstretched hands, to support our residents. And they are stating that violence is not supposed to be a part of their job. So my question is simple. How many frontline workers have had to take leave under this government due to violence in the workplace?
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you to the member for the question. There is no room for violence in any workplace, whether you're a paramedic, a nurse, a physician, a frontline worker of any kind, Mr. Speaker. And that is why our government is so dedicated to putting the resources in, the policies and the frameworks that are needed to prevent violence in the workplace.
Member.
Mr. Speaker, not only do our frontline...
Members will come to order. Please continue.
Mr. Speaker, not only do our frontline workers need to know that they are safe and feel safe, but patients in our healthcare system do too. Mr. Speaker, that is why we've expanded the Relational Security Initiative, supporting nurses in the workplace and other healthcare professionals, and we are seeing results. With over 780 of these protective officers working in healthcare settings, Mr. Speaker, we have seen the incidents of violence come down 8%, and we have seen a 13% reduction in WorkSafe BC claims after only 1 year. Mr. Speaker, we know that violence against healthcare workers has dire consequences for them and for the teams, and that is why this government will continue to take actions every single day to reduce these incidences, to create the safe, supportive workplaces that help recruit more workers into it, and ultimately to support the people of British Columbia.
Member for Kamloops Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, here is the problem yet again with these government's answers to all of these issues. We canvassed yesterday about the critical shortage of mental health services in the 4 psychiatrists in Vernon that resigned, leaving now 151 openings within psychiatry within BC. And here's what, and this is why it matters, Mr. Speaker, here's what Ian Tate, the Ambulance Paramedics of BC Union Communications Director, said in regards to the latest attack, unprovoked attack. The frustrating part is we're seeing it from a lot of unhoused and people who are suffering from mental health. That is the problem when we have a systemic failure of mental health capacity in this province. When is the province going to actually get serious about the critical shortage we have in psychiatry and mental health services in this province, so our frontline workers that are there to actually not judge people, but actually help people, actually aren't getting randomly attacked on a repeated basis?
Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. What has happened with these paramedics, these incidents, are deeply unsettling. I know for them, and I want to say thank you to the RCMP who responded and for the people who provide support to paramedics and other frontline workers when terrible circumstances like this unfold. Mr. Speaker, the continuum of publicly funded services that this government is building out when it comes to mental health is absolutely unprecedented. Mr. Speaker, this year's budget has $4.2 billion lift in healthcare, and that includes $500 million to expand the services of mental health and substance use across this province. Mr. Speaker, it includes foundry centres, interdisciplinary teams for youth. It includes integrated child and youth teams. It includes community counselling grants. Mr. Speaker, a way to make low to no cost counselling available to any British Columbian here in the province. Mr. Speaker, it includes building out province-wide helplines, crisis-led community response teams. Mr. Speaker, it includes assertive community treatment teams, recovery centres. It includes the supports that people need to support their mental health as a part of their entire well-being, not just of people and their families, but communities across this province.
Member for Surrey White Rock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this government, when it comes to mental health supports, this government has made a decision to cut programs that are proven to work. It is true, they cut saplings. I asked the minister directly yesterday. Her answer was she decided to talk about the choices she's making and two-tier healthcare systems. Not once did she address this program that is providing mental health, addiction support, and suicide preventions. My question to the minister is this: will she step in, reinstate that funding, keep this program open? Yes or no, not a speech. Will she do it today?
Minister of Health. Minister.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I want to say thank you to the incredible team at Saplings for the work that they've been doing in the community, supporting children and youth with mental health supports. They have had 3 contracts to deliver child and youth mental health supports, and Northern Health has only ended 1 contract. Mr. Speaker, the other funding continues. The work that they are doing is being transitioned into a child and youth regional support team. Mr. Speaker, it's a change that is not a reduction in service, and I want to be really clear about that. Psychiatric liaison nurses, they will continue to support both adult and youth mental health assessments in the ER 7 days a week. We have a new regional support team that will be helping families and doctors with mental health assessments, with resource navigation, and access to child psychiatry. Mr. Speaker, we know how important these supports are to communities in the north, to the children and families there, and we will continue to do just that.
Chair will allow 1 question from member for Skeena.
I appreciate that, Mr. Speaker. So, first of all, 1 program being cut in a region, I understand it's just 1 program, but in a region where we don't have any programs is 1 too many. Just to be very clear about that, that is 1 too many. Last year, 19-year-old Sebastian Moore from the Kitsillas Nation was murdered. The RCMP recommended charges, but the Crown refused to prosecute, not even for manslaughter. The man responsible is a dangerous repeat offender with a record of violent assaults that have resulted in hospitalization. Sebastian's grandmother, Debbie, asked me something that no grandmother should ever have to ask. She said, "I saw on the news that someone in BC is being prosecuted for beating a dog. Why is a dog's life more important than my grandson's?" It's a question that cuts to the heart of justice in this province. She said, quote, "Only in BC is a dog's life more valuable than human life. So enough with excuses and talking points. Will the Attorney General come to my riding and meet with me and my constituents and explain how this happened?"
Mr. Premier.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. This sounds like a devastating case. I am sure that the Attorney General and her team would be happy to meet with the member to discuss it. In British Columbia, we do have a model where Crown Counsel review investigations done by police and make decisions on charges. I did want to stand and address a recurring theme in the questions from the opposition, which was the issue of community safety. Nothing could be more important to this side of the House than safety in every single community of this province. And I was glad to stand with the Attorney General federally for the bail reform changes that are going to make community safety system, public confidence in the criminal justice system.
Members, please.
Public confidence in the criminal justice system across the country is under threat. And it's under threat because repeat violent offenders have been released back to communities, because men who assault their spouses awaiting sentencing are released back into community and kill their partners, bail them in court. And these issues needed to be addressed, and they have been addressed. But what I didn't hear the opposition stand, and they say they're concerned about gun crime. I'd like to hear the members on that side of the House explain how every single one of them campaigned to direct police not to enforce federal gun laws during the election campaign.
Member
says it wouldn't. You heard the member.
Members,
You heard
please.
the member. It wouldn't make a difference, he says. They're still defending their direction to police not to...
Members will come to order.
You hear them shouting at me.
Members, please. No argument with the chair, members. Premier has the floor.
You hear them shouting at me, defending the indefensible. You cannot stand up in this place and say you stand for safety and community.
Members.
And at the same time say you would direct, if you sat on this side of the House, you
Member
would...
for Kamloops Center. Members, shh. Members will be quiet now. Shh. Stop it. Please. Premier will conclude.
Defend the indefensible, which is to say that you stand for community safety and you stand against gun crime, and that you would direct the police not to enforce federal gun laws. They acknowledge it's true, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating, it's ridiculous, and it's...
Members, member is...
If it weren't so tragic, it would be funny, Honourable Speaker.
Member for Kamloops Center, and all members. The chair has reminded members, all members from both sides, when one person is standing up answering the question or asking a question, please do not interrupt. Thank you. Leader of the Fourth Party.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to raise a point of order about one of your earlier rulings regarding my colleague's question. It's my understanding that question period is allowing members to raise issues of urgent and important matters to the public of British Columbia. Is it the Speaker's ruling that if you've had a bill brought in that's defeated, that you can never use any words that were used in that bill again, such as my friend from the third party has introduced a bill today about rent controls. If that bill is defeated, is he never allowed to refer to rent controls again? My colleague has introduced a bill, had a question today regarding curriculum in the BC schools, regarding words such as cultural humility and so on, and decolonization. And in her supplemental question, I must say that the word land acknowledgement wasn't even going to be used. And if the Speaker is making a ruling that you can no longer use words that have been presented in bills that have previously been voted down, then that's going to be a long list of words. And which standing order is the Speaker referring to when he makes this ruling? And I don't make this point of order to be sassy or rude at all. I'm truly curious as to what this rule means going forward, because I'm looking at my colleague Emily Armstrong's question, and it did not use the word land acknowledgement anywhere in it. And so I'm wondering actually if not only I could have this point of order ruled upon in the future, but could we also have an opportunity to ask the question again, because it does not contain the word land acknowledgements. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member. The chair will look at the script and I'll get back to the House afterwards. Members, during the question period, I'm advised the number of members were using electronic devices, which is prohibited. So please be careful not to use any of those electronic devices during the question period. Madam Clerk. No, I have something. Members, I have the honor to table the Auditor General's report Beyond the Bottom Line, Navigating the Province of BC's 2024-25 Audited Financial Statements. Madam Clerk.
Orders of the day.
Government House Leader.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. In this chamber, I call continued second reading debate on Bill 31. And in the Douglas Fur Room, I call Section A, I call continued committee stage on Bill 20.
Thank you. Committee chairs.